Hi everybody, welcome to A Pop of Culture. I am your host, the Esoteric and Facetious, and this is A Pop of Culture, where we speak on pop culture, social justice, and the human experience from a black, bisexual, millennial perspective. Everything, and I mean everything I say, should be taken with a grain of salt, as I'm simply a college student with a recording device and access to the internet. However, with that being said, my youth shouldn't be your sole reason to critique my views unless it's truly relevant. If you disagree with anything I say, feel free to have a civil conversation with me in the comments below. With all that being said, our topic for today is going to be reacting to a problematic tweet. What time is it? Problematic tweet time. Before I get into this tweet, I want to advertise my cover channel. If y'all don't know, I have a cover channel where I sing, sometimes sang, and on that channel I cover throwback R&B, contemporary R&B, pop music, whatever I'm feeling, whatever you're feeling. So definitely feel free to check that out if you want to be down like Brandy. If you want to be down with the clique, R.I.P. Aaliyah, then definitely check that out. I will leave it linked in the cards, in the description, and it's the only other channel at this time that is featured in my channel section. With all that being said, let's get to this problematic tweet. First off, disclaimer time. It's disclaimer time. When I critique a tweet that somebody's made, I'm not necessarily critiquing the person or saying the person is bad or this or that. I'm probably not even going to share who tweeted the stuff, just, because I'm a new YouTuber and I don't want to, have any smoke in these YouTube streets. I want to, leave myself open to collaborate with people and work with people as I try to build and expand my brand. So if I'm critiquing a tweet by your fave, it's no shade to them, it's just a tweet, because I can like this tweet from somebody and not like that tweet. So it's more about critiquing ideas rather than people. So you don't gotta try to find out who tweeted this or tweeted that, because it's about the idea, not the tweet. So this tweet that we see is actually from, somebody who does a lot of, inspirational content, motivational content. So I do vibe with a lot of the stuff they say with their content, but, I just saw this tweet and it rubbed me the wrong way. So I just wanted to unpack with y'all. So the tweet reads, "Our culture doesn't teach us how to be married or stay married. It teaches us how to fall in love and how to date. It's called follow your happiness movement. People don't believe in vows and commitment." So I guess I saw this and I just had a lot of thoughts, so I just want to unpack this. So basically, the first thing I wanted to kind of get at is the follow your happiness movement. So basically, this person is religious. I personally am not religious. I am atheist, a black atheist. So, but, I'm not someone who's here to attack people's beliefs or ridicule them for having beliefs, because I do think that belief systems can do a lot for people, especially during trying and hard times. And, if you're looking at when this video was released, there are some trying and hard times going on for a lot of people, okay? So, but basically, this person is a very religious person. So here's the first critique I have of this tweet. One of the things that I don't like about, I am critical of religion of, is this idea of critiquing people for following our happiness. Basically, what religion will tell you to do is, you need to do things that glorify God. And you need to follow what God wants for you and what God wants for your life. And the issue I see with this kind of idea that I constantly see with people, especially Christians, is basically, in this life, as far as we know, all we get is this life, and anything could happen. You could have a health situation, even a health situation like R.I.P. Cameron Boyce, where you may have not even known that something like that could have, like, his parents have said that they knew that he had epilepsy, but they said that I guess they didn't know that, it was something that they needed to check out that was that serious. So my thing is, you can have anything. You could have a medical situation, you could have a car accident, you could have anything happen to you at any moment in your life. Tomorrow is not promised, tomorrow is not guaranteed. So for me, and even if you do live a long and lengthy life, if you don't spend it doing things that make you happy and that make you feel content, then it's like, one could raise the question, was it even a life worth living? I guess for me, the concern that I have with religion is, religion always tells us about, edifying God and, the deity and the higher power. And the concern I have with this tweet is, why are we upset at people following their happiness? And a lot of people, I feel, have this belief that following God is more important than following your happiness. And a lot of people feel like that because they feel like God will bring them the supreme or superior happiness. I guess, like I said, my first concern with this tweet is this society doesn't teach us, it teaches us how to fall in love and to date and to follow your happiness movement. And my thing is, the issue is, I feel like this person in this tweet is creating this kind of dichotomy of follow your happiness movement. People don't believe in vows and commitment. But for a lot of people, following their happiness and following what makes them happy is going to help them to find a partner who makes them happy and who makes them feel fulfilled. And that's going to want them to kind of solidify that relationship. The issue I have with a lot of people is I feel like a lot of people have a very narrow view of how a relationship is going to be and what a relationship should be and what it should mean. So a lot of people are going to have these very strict ideas of what the relationship should be, what it should be called, how it should be. And, so a lot of this idea of, people don't follow vows and commitments. I think a lot of this, like I said, comes from this idea of the only way to have a fulfilling and healthy relationship is for two people to be Christian, cis man, cis woman, in a religious relationship where they both love God, and this is supposed to be a unity of two people, from God, where they date and they don't have sex until they are married, and they get married. That's a requirement. The man proposes the woman, and they went to the woman, and they get married. The problem with this logic is there are so many people who have followed this path and they've still ended up in unhealthy relationships. They've still ended up divorced. The issue I have with a lot of people is they want to follow this very linear path to love and relationships. And a lot of these people are very critical of people who do this, as she says, as the tweet person says, the anonymous tweet person says, a lot of people follow their happiness. And the problem that I see is without happiness, vows and commitment mean nothing. The tweet writer, the tweet author states, our culture doesn't teach us how to be married or stay married. It teaches us how to fall in love and to date. And I feel like first and foremost, I don't agree with the fact that they say our society doesn't teach us how to be married or stay married, because I feel like there is a huge stigma towards divorce today. And I mean, it's gotten better over time, but people didn't get divorced. You wouldn't talk about it, because I feel like a lot of people, and people still feel this way, but I feel like more in the past, a lot of people have viewed marriage as something that has to last forever. And if the marriage hasn't lasted forever, then that's on you and that's your fault. And, you should have did better and you should have tried harder. And I feel like that's a problem I have, because the tweet says our culture doesn't teach us to be married and stay married. It teaches us how to fall in love and date. And I guess, my issue is, it's like, I feel like if people should stay married if that's what they want to do, but I feel like the concern, and this is something I've seen more and more, because I feel like I grew up being raised up in Christianity, and in death to death do us part. But I've grown, and I've talked to a lot of people, and heard a lot of different stories, and just seen people in different relationships and stuff. And I think one of the things that we really do need to leave space for is people can grow within relationships, but sometimes people can outgrow each other. But people change. Like, there are people who marry each other from the ages of 18 to 22. And people change. People are going to change all throughout their lives. So my thing is, it's like, if people married each other from 18 to 22, or even at later ages, and different peoples are going to change. And some people are going to change, and they're going to want to have different things. And I think that, of course, it's important to enter relationships expressing, what you want and things of that. But those things can change, and those expectations can change, and what people can change. And I think that it's just problematic to kind of, because the thing that I took this very wrong with this idea of our culture doesn't teach us how to get married or stay married. And I feel like there's just this pressure that I see by people, especially religious people, for people to stay in marriages and stay in relationships. It doesn't matter if this person's hitting on this person, if this person's cheating. There's always this idea of staying and making it work. And I feel like that's toxic. If people are in a bad relationship, if they want to, they can. If they both desire to, they can get counseling in marriage. They can therapy and stuff, couples counseling. But at the same time, I feel like you don't always have to make it work. I think, obviously, and that's an issue I have with a lot of people who speak on dating and relationships and stuff. A lot of people, I feel like, will misrepresent things. So my thing is, of course, if somebody left their dirty laundry out, of course, divorcing them because of that is ridiculous. Like, obviously there's some give and take and there's some, sacrifice and stuff, but I feel like people will use that idea of marriages are going to be rough and things like that and things of that sort to kind of basically make it out to be, if you're not willing to sacrifice everything and forgive everything and over again, like, I feel like there should be some sacrifice and forgiveness that go, but I feel like you just can't just keep forgiving everything over and over again, because at some point you have to respect the vows that you made. And I feel like respecting the vows that you made has to do with not only staying married forever, but if basically, I feel like a marriage is almost a contract. So, like, if you both say that, okay, I promise to love you and do this, and I promise this, and if you can't keep that promise anymore, or if the person that you've been with hasn't kept that promise, then I feel like if they've violated that contract, then either you can revisit the contract or revisit the agreement you made, or maybe you're better off without that agreement. I think that the issue I have with this tweet is basically what this person is coming off as they're saying is, the right relationship to be in is a relationship where you're married and you're staying married. But I feel like I said, the concern I have is this: our culture doesn't teach us how to be married, which I think is very untrue, because there's pressure for people to get married all over the place. Weddings, wedding ceremonies, best man, the maid of honor, the wedding cake, there's a lot of pressure for people to get married because, their parents want to, be the mother of the bride, the father of the bride, the father of the groom, the mother of the groom. Marriage is a part of our culture where, you get the wedding cake, you get the honeymoon. There's a whole section of the economy basically devoted to weddings and wedding dresses and, say yes to the dress, TV shows, like franchises and things of that nature, all devoted to weddings. Our society, people have fought for the right to get married. So this idea of our society doesn't teach us to be married, and there's benefits to getting married. Like, a lot of people, I feel like they've been together, they may be together for so long, but they may decide, well, we might as well get married so we can receive some of these benefits. Our society does teach us to be married, and there's even as same-sex marriage becomes more and more legalized throughout, there's even pressure for same-sex couples to get married so they can have the same benefits and just also have that normalcy where for you to be considered a mature, valid, viable adult. I feel like there's a lot of pressure for people to get married, and even though there are people who are polyamorous, there's people who are in open relationships and things of that sort, and people who just don't want that label of marriage. Though those people exist, I don't think our society affirms that or rewards that type of behavior. So I guess for me, the issue I have with this is this tweet, I feel like, is one of those tweets that kind of points to this alleged decline in society and decline in moral values and family values and stuff. And I feel like the truth of the matter is, I feel like in our society now, with things like online dating and with, I guess, less stigma towards people having premarital sex and things of that sort, I feel like people are actually more empowered to enter into relationships because people are not entering into relationships so that they can have sex because they are not allowed to have sex outside of marriage. People are not entering into relationships because it's what a god or a deity would want for them. It's because it's what they want for them. Because following your happiness, as this tweet author writes, is about finding what feels right for you and what you want. Because when you put yourself at the center and not a deity, you can find a relationship that works for you, because you're not trying to make it work through a Judeo-Christian lens. Because if you go through that lens, then maybe the woman may not need to work, or maybe she needs to have kids, or all these gender roles and all this other type of stuff. When you find a relationship that works for you, and when you're able to explore that relationship and explore with that person without having to follow these parameters and stuff, I feel like the commitment will come, because the commitment will come because you are with each other, because you want to be with each other, not because you feel like the only way for you to be a successful adult person is to be within a relationship, because that's the only way that a deity can view you as viable and as whole and as a value and of worth. So, there's no shade to this tweet author, but I just feel like we have to stop with this language and this stuff where, society, the majority of people are still getting married. People are still getting married. People are still religious. People are still cisgender, heterosexual, having kids, getting married, being committed, and staying married. So I need people to stop with this idea of this decline in society. Just because some people, because we have rights for same-sex couples to get married, just because we're seeing more people who are having these unconventional relationships by, the standards that we have set in place by our society, just because those people are getting a little bit more attention and a little bit less flack for not conforming to your idea of a standard, doesn't mean that everything's going downhill. There are several people who are going to want to have a traditionally Christian relationship, and that's all they want. So just because other people are having that doesn't mean that society is still teaching us to get married, because society benefits from us being married, So, and people do want vows and commitment, because that's the thing. I think a lot of people, I don't like how people say people don't want vows and commitment, but it's like, first and foremost, commitment looks differently. Like, even couples who have open relationships may be committed to each other, and they may have a commitment to, okay, you're going to tell me if there's a situation, you're going to tell me if you want to meet up with somebody, like, you got to tell me. There's even rules in what some people may view as, nonsensical. And vows and commitment can take place in different forms, and they don't always have to be, a verbal commitment before a group of people. I think that we just all have to respect ourselves enough to know what we want, and to not lower ourselves or lessen ourselves by accepting offers or propositions from people who don't want what we want. And we also have to respect what other people want. So I can respect that this tweet author, that this is what she wants out of a relationship, but I can also understand that may not be what I want. We just have to give other people the room to find love and relationships and stuff the way they want. And we just have to support each other, and not downplay and hate on people for doing what we don't want, especially if you're somebody, especially these people who kind of will flip the script, and they may have been doing something different before, but now they're going to shame everybody for doing it. So that's all I have to say. No shade to this tweet author, but I just wanted to unpack that and process that. How do y'all feel about this tweet? Do y'all feel like this tweet was right? Do y'all feel like this tweet was wrong? Let me know your thoughts. It was great speaking with y'all, and definitely, if you're still here, leave a like, leave a thumbs up emoji in the comment section below, so I know that you're still rocking with me. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day. But if you're having a good time, and why wouldn't you be having a good time, then first off, share this video so other people can have a good time with us. I'm not one of those people who's, trying to be exclusive. We can all have a good time and all think and grow and think critically. But also, to your left, there is a playlist of all of my video essay podcasts, so we can enjoy the party. We can have some more fun. In the center is a button where you can click to subscribe if you just haven't had a chance to subscribe. We get confused. Sometimes we forget. I'll forget, and I'll be like, oh, shoot. Thanks for reminding me, if that's what you want to do. And make sure to hit that bell so you can be notified each time I upload a video. And to the right is a playlist of all of my covers if you want to hear me sing, you want to jam to some throwbacks, some old stuff, some new stuff. And if you want to support me, if you want to support the show, then definitely feel free to leave a donation. My Cash App is linked below. All people who donate will be featured in the credits of all of my videos, and I appreciate all donations. Thanks so much for watching. Love y'all. Bye.